beautiful. Just beautiful. So now your name is in a story about baby stealing, eh? I didn't know she stole the baby. I swear, she told me it was official. She said it was from a real doctor. Oh, real. So now you're buying stolen babies the right way, eh? No, so will you blame me? I was desperate. What do you want me to say now? I just wanted to be a mother, to carry my own babies. And you dragged your name into this kind of mess? You want the police to storm our house after everything? You finally brought me shame. Everything? What everything have you really done also? I lost 4 babies. 4! I watched them die one after the other. And you think I'm okay? You think I'm still normal? You think this is what I wanted also? You think I plan to become like this? To be childless? Do you even know how it feels to carry life for 9 months, labor for 3 days, and come home holding only a wrapper and also? How do you expect me to feel?
The wedding photo still hung by the cracked corner of the mirror in Amaka's small parlor. 2 young lovers, frozen in joy. She was barely 20 and he just 24, smiling like tomorrow owed them forever. At 20, Amaka had barely figured herself out, but she was already a wife. Nonso was her first love, her first kiss, her first everything. He worked at a mechanic workshop and always smelled of engine oil and ambition. Amaka, na you I go marry. No woman fits me like you, he had told her, months before they tied the knot. She had laughed and punched his chest lightly, but her heart believed every word. Their marriage was small, but very sweet. Her aunt gifted her one old standing fan that still worked only on its left rotation. Nonso's friends danced like madmen that night. 3 weeks later, Amaka missed her period. She didn't even need to buy a test strip. Her body had already started whispering the truth. She threw up the next morning, wiped her mouth and smiled. When she told Nonso, he stood still for a moment, eyes wide like he had just won millions in lottery. You mean you're pregnant? Amaka, are you serious? Amaka nodded. He screamed and carried her, spinning her like a child. They stayed up all night, dreaming. Nonso said he wanted a boy, someone to teach how to fix engines. Amaka wanted a girl, someone to braid small plaits and tie pink ribbons on her hair. They didn't care who came. They were just both happy. 9 months later, labor had started on a Tuesday night. It was slow at first. Mild cramps, back pain, restlessness. By Wednesday, the pain had multiplied. By Thursday, she was screaming. Friday morning came and her voice was already gone. She had been in labor for almost 3 days. The hospital room stank of disinfectant and sweat. Nurses came and went, faces tight with duty. Her mother sat in one corner, praying under her breath. Nonso paced like a man chasing shadows. Are you waiting for my wife to die before you help her? She has been in labor for the past 3 days. He barked at a nurse, his hands shaking. Sir, she's progressing, but it's just slow, the nurse replied. Her cervix is just 8 centimeters now. Cervix what? My wife has been crying here for the past 3 days. You should do something. Amaka had no strength left to argue. She could barely feel her legs at that point. The only thing she knew was that she needed to push and keep pushing. When the baby finally came out, it was a boy. Everyone in the room paused. He was beautiful. Soft coils, tiny lips, but his cry was weak. So faint it sounded like someone clearing throats. The nurses rushed him out. 2 hours later, a doctor returned with quiet footsteps and heavy eyes. I'm sorry, he said. We lost the baby. Amaka screamed first. Her mother collapsed. Nonso slid to the floor, pressing his back against the wall like he was trying to disappear into it. No one said anything for hours. That night, back in their one-room apartment, Nonso sat on the floor while Amaka lay in bed staring at the ceiling. He reached for her hand. "We'll try again, okay? I promise you, it will get better." 6 months later, Amaka got pregnant again. This time they were cautious. They didn't celebrate, no baby shopping, no pictures, just quiet prayers and folded hope. Amaka sang to her belly every night. Nonso rubbed her feet. He even stopped drinking star beer on weekends. They tried to do everything differently. But after 9 months, there was still another stillbirth. No cry, no heartbeat, just another white cloth. The third pregnancy came with fear already stitched into it. Even her body didn't feel the same. She would lie awake at night, counting seconds between kicks, trying to convince herself that this particular baby was going to stay. But it didn't. 3 babies, 3 losses, 3 empty arms. Her mother was angry. He called Amaka one evening. "Amaka, don't kill yourself in this marriage. Oh. You better come back home. Come back and complete your university education. This one is not marriage again. It is now punishment." But Amaka said no. She loved Nonso very much. And even though he rarely smiled at her anymore, even though he avoided baby aisles at the supermarket now, even though he sometimes cried in the shower, he still held her at night. "I didn't get married to you because of children," he whispered once. But even him was beginning to sound like he wasn't convinced himself. Soon, whispers started. Neighbors, church members, even family members started saying, "Na spiritual problem oh. Maybe they don't swear for them, say they no go get babies. Abi, na the husband family they use her baby womb." Desperation crept in slowly, like a shadow that never left. The fourth pregnancy came after a church vigil. The pastor had prayed over her belly, anointed her forehead, and declared, "This baby, you will carry it for 9 months. This baby is covered by fire." And so Amaka believed. She carried the pregnancy gently like a glass bowl. No stress, no long journeys, no sudden excitement, no telling anyone. And truly, when the baby came, he cried, a loud, clear sound that echoed through the world. Amaka wept with joy. "Finally, my baby is here." Nonso knelt beside the bed, speechless, his hands trembling. But by evening, everything changed. The nurse rushed in first, then a doctor. Then there was silence. Another sudden infant death. They said sometimes it just happens. But that was the day something inside her cracked. Not like a scream, more like a soft shattering, quiet, deep final crack. The doctor, after reviewing her case again, recommended that they take a break. No pregnancies at least. Let your body rest. And your heart too. It made sense. But her heart was stubborn. Her arms were tired of staying empty all night. One morning, after breakfast, Amaka looked at Nonso and said, "Nonso, what if we adopt a child?" Nonso stared at her for a long time, then nodded slowly. If na wetin go give you peace now," he said. Amaka remembered her cousin Ebere, the one who said she worked in a motherless baby's home. She immediately called her, explained everything to her and said, "Ebere, I need a baby. I want to adopt." Ebere said she had connections, said she could help fast-track the process, but she told her, "Adoption is not cheap. Oh. It cost about 2 million, but because you're my sister, just bring 1.6. Amaka agreed. She didn't even ask questions. Hope can make people blind. In less than 2 months, she gathered the money and also borrowed some from his friend. Amaka used all her savings. She sold everything she had, including her wedding ring. Ebere collected the cash in an envelope and promised to call back the next week. But Ebere never did. Her phone line suddenly stopped going through. Her apartment in Enugu, empty. And soon, they heard she had traveled abroad. When Nonso found out, he didn't shout. He just stood by the window. His hands were in his pocket and his eyes fixed on the street. Later that night, he told Amaka quietly, I never even supported abortion before. I just did it because of you. Now, you see, Amaka tried to speak, but he raised his hand, abeg, don't ask me for money for adoption again. And that was the last sentence he spoke to her that entire week. The silence between them became heavier than words. Amaka stopped eating. She stopped brushing her hair. Sometimes she would sit on the floor, hugging her knees, listening to the hum of the fridge like it was music. She went back to the only thing that seemed to make sense: prayer. Every night vigil, every midnight call, every prayer on the social media, Instagram or TikTok, YouTube, Amaka would join. One woman told her to buy salt and put it under her pillow. Another one told her that her destiny children were being held by spirit babies. She was ready to try anything. Then one day, a friend told her about a doctor in the East. It wasn't a proper hospital, but it was a place where young girls gave away their babies after birth. The friend told her that it was a legitimate thing and asked her to bring 1.5 million for boys and 1 million for girls. Amaka hesitated at first, but her heart refused to rest. When she told Noso didn't even argue. I don't have money and I don't want to get involved, he said. If you want to go, it's your decision. And so, Amaka borrowed money. She sent her friend a first payment of 600,000, a processing fee, she said. But 1 week later, everything shattered. There was a video on TikTok spreading about a woman that they caught at Opiweka, beating, bleeding. She was accused of stealing a neighbor's baby. When she looked closely, it was her friend. Amaka watched the video 3 times before her brain accepted what her eyes saw. This was the woman she gave money to, the one who promised her a child. The caption read, she wanted to sell the baby to a woman in Lagos. That woman was her. Amaka's hands began to shake. She rose to show Nonso. He barely looked at the screen and said,
Beautiful. Just beautiful. So now, your name is in a story about baby stealing, eh? I didn't know she stole the baby. I swear, she told me it was official. She said it was from a real doctor. Oh, real. So now you're buying stolen babies the right way, eh? No, so will you blame me? I was desperate. What do you want me to say now? I just wanted to be a mother, to carry my own babies. And you dragged your name into this kind of mess? You want the police to storm our house after everything? You finally brought me shame. Everything? What everything have you really done also? I lost 4 babies. 4! I watched them die, one after the other. And you think I'm okay? You think I'm still normal? So your big idea was to buy a stolen baby online. Why didn't you just carry a gun instead? You think this is what I wanted, Noso? You think I planned to become like this? To be childless? Do you even know how it feels to carry life for 9 months, labor for 3 days, and come home holding only a wrapper, Noso? How do you expect me to feel? It still doesn't make it okay for you to lose your mind, eh, Amaka?
you better don't involve me in this madness, he said, walking out of the room. The next morning, police knocked on her door. She was still in her clothes, hair untidy, eyes red. Madam, you're under arrest for child trafficking. She thought it was a joke until the handcuffs clicked. Also stood at the corner of the compound watching. I'll get a lawyer, don't worry, he said. Just follow them. She called her family from the station. Her elder brother answered. You see yourself? When we tell you to leave that marriage, you won't hear. Let that your husband help you now. And then he hung up. By the end of the week, she was in prison. There was no lawyer, no bail, no visitor. Prison was not what movies showed. There were no orange uniforms, no bunk beds, just a long hall with too many women and not enough air. Amaka was given a mat, a pale blue wrapper, and a corner by the wall. The first night, she didn't sleep. She cried until her throat hurt. No one comforted her. Everyone had their own tears. She expected Nonso to come the next day, but he didn't. He came 3 days later carrying a small polythene bag. Inside it was toothpaste, detergent, tissue, and bread that had already gone stale around the edges. They spoke in whispers. Don't worry, I'm working on it, he said. But I don't have money. Just manage for now, okay? Amaka nodded, tried to smile. The second time he visited, he brought nothing. And the third time he came, he looked distracted, restless. That was the last time she saw him. Weeks turned into months. Amaka's skin began to dull. Her nails broke easily. Her hair thinned out from stress and lack of proper food. She avoided mirrors. Not that there were many, but the first time she caught her reflection in the dusty glass window, she looked like someone else. Some NGOs came occasionally. They brought pads, small bags of rice, tissue, soap. Some people took photos. Others took stories. Amaka told her story more times than she could even count. Each time, they nodded. Some even cried. Don't worry, we will help people come out, okay? One lady said, holding her hand tightly. But none of them ever returned. She tried to hold on to her faith. She prayed with other inmates, even fasted. She even taught some of them how to bake without flour, using mashed potatoes and palm oil. But every night, the same question haunted her. How did I get here? Just because I wanted a child. Her release came quietly.
5 years passed. Amaka had now spent over 2,000 days behind bars.
With no nonso, no family, not even a distant friend asking of her.
Some people had promised to help, but nothing came out of it. She had become a ghost in the outside world. Forgotten until one quiet evening.
They called her name. She stood up slowly, unsure it was a mistake. At the gate, a woman, well-dressed, eyes sharp, nails painted red like fire. "You're Amaka, right?" the woman asked. "Yes," she nodded. "I'm with a woman advocacy group. I've been reviewing your case file, and I have good news for you." Amaka watched her, curiosity in her heart. "Well, I want to inform you that the court has finally reviewed your case and your case has been dismissed. You are free to go. You don't belong here anymore." Amaka's lips quivered. She wanted to ask so many questions. She wanted to scream, but she just said, "Thank you so much. Thank you." And so they left the prison together. When Amaka returned home, she tried her key, but they no longer worked. The house looked repainted. Everything looked different. The curtains were new. She knocked again, and a different woman opened the door. A slim, pretty woman with a child on her hip. Nosu wasn't just gone. He had moved on. When she finally met him at his new house, he stood at the gate. "What do you want, Amaka?" "I'm married now," he said, arms folded. "I have 3 kids and my life has moved. It's been 5 years after all." Amaka looked at him. Tears filled her eyes. Her body was too dry. "I just wanted peace," she whispered. "So go and find it," he replied without any remorse. "Because, as you can see, our fate doesn't match." And then he walked back inside. The woman with red nails, her name was Mrs. Drujai, took Amaka in like a younger sister. She gave her a bed, a mirror, a reason to wake up again. "You were once a baker, right?" she asked one evening. Amaka nodded. "Okay, let's refresh those skills." She enrolled her in a catering school, a small place run by 2 elderly sisters who baked like it was a holy calling. Amaka started slow. She burned 3 cakes when she tried to make it. But the 4th one came well. It rose, golden and perfect, and something inside her rose with it. From there, she started baking from home. Small orders at first, chin-chin, cupcakes, birthday cakes. She used WhatsApp to promote her work, bought first apron from a thrift seller online. But inside, she still felt broken. One afternoon, she went to deliver a wedding cake. As she stepped into the venue, one of the ushers looked her up and down and said, "Sorry, you can't go in dressed like this." Amaka looked at her hands. Her skin was rough, her dress too old, her shoes had peeled at the back. She turned back, carried her cake and walked home with tears in her eyes. That night, she decided she was going to change. She downloaded Pinterest. She started watching YouTube videos on how to take care of herself, how to tie turbans. She bought affordable clothes, lip gloss, learned how to dress her body type, began to skincare, began to moisturize, began to smile at herself in the mirror again. People started noticing, even her customers noticed. Until you dey glow, you fine like this. Amaka started taking pictures with her cakes. She didn't hide her face anymore, and she began to rise. One Saturday, she delivered a cake in a wine-colored gown. Simple, classy, beautiful. The bride said, "Wow, madam, you're so beautiful." A man that was nearby smiled and asked for her number. "For business," he said. But it wasn't business. He was in love. He was a tall, gentle, kind man, patient in a way Nonso never was. When she told him her story, the jail, the losses, the shame, he held her hand and said, "Your past is not your name. Let's build something new." They got married few months later, quietly, peacefully, no dancing crowd, just love. She got pregnant, and this time she delivered through cesarean section. The baby lived. It was a boy. 2 years later, another boy came, and he also lived. Her husband looked at the two boys and said, "This is enough now. These two complete us." And he was right. Amaka is a mother now, a baker, and a wife. A woman who once walked through fire and came out shining. This story is for every woman who has ever carried joy in her belly and returned with silence. To every womb that has been questioned. To every heart that has been broken. You are not alone. Your pain has a name, and so does your healing. You will rise again. The end. Thank you so much for watching this story to the very end. Amaka's journey is not just fiction. It's the quiet reality of many women around us, women who are judged by their wombs, abandoned when life doesn't go as planned, forgotten after they give everything. But here's the truth. Your past may be heavy, but it's not your full story. You can rise again. You can smile again. You can become again. So every woman watching this, whether you're healing, hoping, or hiding, I pray joy returns in full measure. And when it comes, may it stay. Now I would like to hear from you. Have you or someone you ever known faced rejection or shame because of childbirth challenges? How were you able to overcome? Please share your thoughts in the comment section. There are a lot of women going through these issues, and they would love to hear from you. And if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe for more real life stories that heal, teach, and inspire us. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.